What's up everyone, John from ARTV. As you can see from the title of this video, no, this is not my year-end countdown, this is not a traditional album review, this is a thank you and a kind of what to look forward to in the future type video. 50,000 subscribers. I just passed on the main channel here, and I also recently just crossed over 40,000 on Beyond ARTV, which is just mind-blowing, and I have to say thank you. I know it's super cliche, all these YouTubers make these videos, but seriously, I feel like I'm much different from a lot of these channels because it takes a lot longer to grow in this type of community. You really have to put in the work, and then maybe finally it starts snowballing and picking up, and thanks to you guys, over the past 3 years, each year within a year, each December, I have roughly doubled in size in terms of my channel growth, at least on the main channel. ARTV originally back in 2014 went from 5K to 10K, and then from 10 to over 20, and now from 25,000 to 50,000 subscribers in 1 year. And even though doubling might be the same thing every year in terms of the term that I'm using for it, it's much bigger in terms of the actual numbers, because if you think about it, that's a lot more this year than last year, the growth there. And with Beyond ARTV, we started the year at under 8,000 subscribers. It has more than tripled in size over the past just 9 months, really. March is where things really started growing rapidly over there. Thank you guys so much. I owe you everything. I'm just a guy sitting, talking to a camera, expressing and sharing opinions, and I am so grateful to everyone that watches. My plans for the future continue bringing you great content that you love here on this channel, and honestly, I owe the success not just to me, but there's others that I have to thank as well, and the biggest one of those is my girlfriend, who you guys know as Infinity on Hannah. I couldn't do it without her. The amount of work that she helps me out with. She redid the entire layout of this channel, all of the graphic design. She's in school for that. She's insanely talented. I give her just a rough outline of what I'm looking for, and then she does it. She does all of the thumbnails, practically 95% of them for both channels, really just works her ass off and expects nothing in return, which is why I want to do things for her in return, like obviously showing her love in this video. It's not that she asks for these or demands it or anything like that, but I want to because she helps me out so much. And honestly, I feel like I got into the space that I was in this year just because I've had her by my side, pushing me, driving me forward, and this, it's no shock that it's been the best year that I've ever had. 2016 is the best year that I've ever had in my life, not just in terms of YouTube, but in general, and I'm so grateful for that. I'm so blessed. I complain sometimes, there's things that I don't like, but honestly, I have my health. For the most part, there's some things that could be better, but you could say that about anyone, really. Everybody's got their stuff. I am blessed with health. I'm blessed with a YouTube channel that is doing well, and I'm blessed to be able to be making money off of something that I absolutely love doing. I love making these videos for you guys. And honestly, within the next year, I could see this becoming full-time, especially as you guys continue to support the videos and stuff like that. It's hard to wrap my head around because it's just like, it's scary in a way because you think about leaving your actual job that's dependable and super consistent because you know what your paycheck is going to be pretty much every week, roughly at least. And with YouTube, it definitely can vary, but I don't know. I'm definitely going to have to do a lot of thinking on it, a lot of planning and that sort of thing. But like I said, if things continue the way they're going now, I could be bringing you YouTube content full time, which would be insanely awesome, and I never thought that I would get to a point where I would actually be able to say that to you guys. But just 2016 alone has showed what you can do as a community. And sure, there's plenty of hate and negativity out there, people who don't like my content, but you could say that about really any channel. There's always going to be people that don't like you. So if you were thinking about starting a channel of your own, don't let it get to you. I know there's a lot of people that will just downvote your video just because you just got started and maybe you don't sound as professional or look as professional, but trust me, I started on a fucking black and white webcam in 2009 reviewing a 3 Days Grace album. And here I sit with a combined total of over 90,000, which sounds like nothing compared to these huge YouTubers. But once again, I feel like in the music and vlogging community, like the music vlogging and reviewing community, I feel like that's a much bigger number. And obviously you look to people like Smosh or PewDiePie or even H3 Productions and all these people in the millions, and I'm nothing in the grand scheme of things. But Social Blade says I'm like the 60,000 something most popular YouTuber, so I think that's a little something to be proud of. Jokes aside, seriously, I'm extremely grateful to you guys. I'm extremely grateful to my girlfriend, and another thank you and shout out that I have to give, one that will probably, I guess, rub people the wrong way, but I really don't care because it's my faith. I'm very open to other people's as well, and I know I'm not a shining knight example of Christianity or anything like that, but I am a Christian and I have to thank God first and foremost above everything else, because I truly believe that everything happens for a reason and that we were put here for a reason, to be able to do something and for it to maybe be something that I love. It's just fantastic. And the fact that I have my health, I have the ability to speak, and I have the equipment I was able to afford, whether it was given to me by awesome, generous friends like my friend Nate Claunch. A huge shout out to him. I hope to one day be able to repay him in the work that he's doing. He's gone into a field where he's not exactly going to be making as much money or really that much money at all, because it's what he wants to do with his life. That's a huge thank you that's in order, because he helped me out with like a microphone, some other mic equipment and that sort of thing, stuff for my camera. My camera was stolen at one point when I was in Washington, D.C., and, you know, friends and family helped me get a replacement for that so I could continue making videos. It's amazing the way that everything has worked out, and I don't think that that would be possible, at least what I believe. I completely believe this. You know, without God, I don't think anything is possible. Anyways, these are all just my personal views and beliefs here. I'm not trying to force anything on anyone, really. This is more for myself than anyone else. But thank you to seriously everybody who has subscribed, everyone who is going to continue watching my videos. I really loved diversifying my content this year. I talked about it in a recent episode of Dear John, just the fact that I got to make different stuff like on 7 on Sunday, and problems I have with over on Beyond ARTV, and just the various track reviews and other videos that I made, like why do people hate the 1975 or why do people hate Coldplay and stuff like that. Those are fun videos for me to make because I get to talk about different bands that aren't necessarily putting out new material right this minute, and I'm not having to wait for an album review. And I feel like my content would get stale if I just had continued to make album reviews, and I feel like that's another reason why my channels grew, is because I branched out. And I'm really excited about that. I'm excited to try out new things once again in 2017, obviously alongside album reviews, top 10s here on the main channel, my Dear John series that I recently introduced, which is going to become a staple on the channel, hopefully, where I can dive into deeper questions from you guys. I'm just really excited, and obviously I'm open to suggestions for things as well. I'm still going to be replying to some comments. That's one thing that I did want to say to you guys, a little resolution for myself in 2017. I feel like there's a lot of negativity out there in the comments section, and I do let it get to me a lot of times. I will rudely reply to people, and I'll, you know, admit that right off the bat, honestly. I do that sometimes because it gets to me, because I see the same things over and over again, and I know that you can't really interpret things perfectly over text, but I get frustrated because I'll see the same comment like 10 times in a row, and I'll reply to one of them, and I'll just be like, ugh, and then I'll realize it was a misunderstanding. Some of them absolutely are. In fact, most of them are just intentionally being assholes, but for the most part, maybe some of them aren't. I don't know. You can never truly know. So I'm going to do my best to either just delete those comments and move on, or really just maybe give them a softer reply and not get so harsh about things, and, you know, maybe not assume the worst of people. So that's my vow for 2017, is to try harder. My New Year's resolution on ARTV. I'm going to try and be nicer in my replies in the comments, my interactions on Twitter and that sort of thing. Try to ignore the hate instead of just getting down on their level. But I know there's a lot of negativity in my videos because I criticize things, but criticism is fair for really anything. That's what I do on ARTV. I'm getting rambly at this point, and I'm going to try and wrap it up. I don't know where I was going. I had a first take of this video, and it was much, much better, but for whatever reason, my memory card is fucked up, and I had to put in another one. So Hooray. Halfway to the silver play button. Thank you guys so much. Be sure to leave a like on the video today and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because friends don't let friends go unsubscribed. You can check out a couple of recent reviews or videos that I think you guys might like right over here, or you can subscribe to the second channel, Beyond ARTV. Other than that, you can find me on social media linked in the description, and I'll see you very soon on ARTV.